In Spotlight Forecasting, the Task Manager is the starting point for all tasks you complete. Within the Task Manager, you can add your data source, import updated data, and create and copy profit and loss budgets and three-way forecasts for the organisation. You can also access additional tasks to create and work with forecasting drivers, KPIs and covenants. Access the Task Manager at any time by clicking the Go to Task Manager button alongside the organisation. The Task Manager also opens automatically when you set up a new forecasting organisation. When you first open the Task Manager, you need to add a data source. You can add data from the cloud data sources Xero, QuickBooks Online and MYOB Account Write Live, as well as from desktop data sources QuickBooks Desktop, MYOB Desktop and the UK version of Sage 50 Accounts. If your data isn't held in any of these systems, you can also bring the data in via Excel. If you don't want to connect a data source, you can also opt to manually enter the data. Please note that if you do choose to do this, you won't be able to attach a data source to any budgets or forecasts that were based on manually entered data at a later stage. To get started, click your data source. In this example, I'll use the Xero data source. You'll need to authorise the connection to the data source, and then, once this is done, you can select the checkboxes for the actuals and budgets, and import the data. Once you've imported a data source, this is now connected to the organisation, and you can use it to create a profit and loss budget or create a three-way forecast. To set up a profit and loss budget, click this option and then enter the required settings for your budget. For the data to use, you can select the data that you've previously imported for the organisation, and then choose which part of that data you want to use as the budget. You can find out more about setting up a budget in our other videos. You now have your budget and can work with it as needed using the adjustment options available. You can return to the Task Manager at any time by clicking the tab, or clicking Finish and go to the Task Manager. To set up a forecast, click Create a three-way forecast and enter the required forecast settings. When choosing the data source, if you've already created a budget, you can base the forecast on this, or alternatively, select the data source you connected earlier. Once you click Save and Continue, you can then continue to work on your forecast using the adjustments, rules and other options available. You can find out more about these in our other videos. The budgets and forecasts you create are listed in the Tasks pane. Here, you can see the date range for the forecast or budget, the last month of actuals, and the last activity date. If you need to access the budget or forecast to make further changes, to open it, click Edit. You can also access each budget or forecast from the Customize Data tab. If needed, you can add multiple budgets and forecasts from the options above the Tasks pane. However, if you want to use the budget or forecast you already created as a starting point, you can use the Make a Copy option. This is a great time saver, as all the work you've done on the original budget or forecast carries across, and you can then work on the new copy without it affecting the original, and vice versa. This can be useful for predicting alternative scenarios such as asset purchase, improved debtor collection, or increased costs, and you can compare the different forecasts side by side in the report using the comparison pages. To copy a budget or forecast, click the Make a Copy button and enter a name and short name for the new copy. If you chose to copy a budget, you can also select the option to convert this to a three-way forecast if needed. If required, enter a percentage adjustment to revenue, cost of sales or expenses, then click Copy. The new copy appears on the list, and you can click Edit to open the copy and work on it as needed. You can create up to 30 budgets and forecasts within the Task Manager. If at any time you need to remove one, click the Delete button alongside that budget or forecast. Please note this cannot be undone. When you need to bring additional data into your forecasting organisation, for example, to update for a new month of actuals, you can import this using the data source you originally added in the Task Manager. Importing a data source doesn't automatically update your budgets and forecasts, but instead makes the data available if needed. Once you've imported the data source updates, to update the budget or forecast, edit the required task, and then use the Sync Data option to bring through the data you need. As well as working with the data source, budgets and forecasts, you can also access 2 additional tasks within the Task Manager. In the Drivers option, you can set up forecasting drivers that you can use within dynamic rules in your forecast, for example, to calculate values based on unit prices or quantities. You can find further help on using drivers in our other videos and from the help links available in the drivers screen. In the KPIs and Covenants option, you can set up a KPI, covenant or target to report on and see how each of your budgets and forecasts compare. For example, if a particular target or covenant must be met, you'll be able to see which of the potential forecast outcomes will get you there. You can include this information on your report in the KPIs and Covenants page. Further details are in our other videos and also available via the links in the KPIs and Covenants screen.